All right, in this workout, we are doing breaststroke for distance freestylers or triathletes. This is going to be a quick down and dirty breakdown of breaststroke because you're probably asking yourself, why would I ever want to learn breaststroke? And I'll say there's a number of really good reasons, which I'm just going to hit on right away, see if I can sell you on it, and then I'll actually break down breaststroke. So for triathletes or distance swimmers, this is a really good life-saving stroke, first and foremost. So if you ever get way out in the open water, you get lost, disorientated, you don't know where you are, you need to pop your head up, kind of take a look around, reorientate before putting the head back down and continuing on freestyle, that's a good skill set to have. Or if you just take in a gulp of water, and again, you just need to come up and collect yourself, breaststroke, perfect. The other reasons, and really no different than all the drill work that we've been doing, is just moving differently. So all the drill technique work, all those different movements, really all we're teaching is motor control, hopefully improving the way you can control your body and move it through the water. So no difference in swimming different strokes. And you really, you may find different nuggets of gold in these strokes that then you can apply to your freestyle, which is really the main purpose today. So in terms of freestyle, or breaststroke, how it complements freestyle, I'll say there are a number of elements. Your body position, body line being one of them. You're on your front. Because you're recovering underwater, it requires even that much more focus on being streamlined, being efficient under the water. And again, I find breaststroke kind of works really well on getting into streamline. The other things it works on, I would say, would be feel of the water. As I said, I've said to many of you, a lot of times when I'm asking you to scull, either in the catch or the mid pull, you're actually doing breaststroke arms. So really all the breaststroke arms are is scull on the catch to the mid pull, and then you just recover. So a lot of you are already doing those mechanics, but again, in terms of feel of the water, and I'll say training muscular endurance of the hands and forearms, you ever want to work those, do breaststroke arms only, and come talk to me after that. Breathing is another aspect because the breathing is still reliant on your stroke timing, and because that timing changes compared to freestyle, it does allow you to practice different breathing timings. I also think breathing's a little bit easier because there's less going on in breaststroke, and you get to pop your head right out of the water and take, I'll say, hopefully a clean breath. You can really work on that inhale, exhale, good air exchange, and again, you can take that into your freestyle as well. And then I would say the last element that I really like that supports, I'll say, triathletes specifically, is the breaststroke kick or the whip kick. And if you can do this well, we'll talk about it. It's definitely the hardest element. Some people get it and some people don't. But even if you don't get it, it's really nice still to move the hips around that ball and socket joint, improve the mobility. I find my hips usually get the tightest, so sometimes nice, easy breaststroke kick. Again, opening those hips up a little bit, flushing through, getting the blood flowing more through the hips. It's something that doesn't happen, at least in that full range of motion through that ball and socket rotation. So I really do like the breaststroke kick for that purpose. So we're going to do this really quickly because, again, we're not becoming breaststrokers here, but at least by the end of this, hopefully you have some sort of competency to swim the stroke. So if you're ever asked to swim it or choose to swim it on your own, again, you look like you kind of know what you're doing. So just looking at breaststroke, or at least my breaststroke, and by no means am I a breaststroker. However, I can somewhat do it. And I'll just play it through here, and then we'll bring her back. And the first thing I want to talk about is the timing, and then we'll talk about some of the position here, and then the mechanics, which again are typically the hardest. So the timing is really broken into two parts. We have pull and breathing together. So we'll put that front bit together, as you can see here. So starting in my glide, I action the arms to lift my torso up out of the water. That's primarily what that scull is for. You're not pulling yourself forward too much. However, you can see I am traveling. So I do get a little bit of forward propulsion, but really propulsion is going to be in the kick. So if, again, you can't get the breaststroke kick and you're not going anywhere, that's why. So really, we pull or scull, breathe, And then as we are setting up our streamline, we're kicking and gliding. So if you want to break it into those two parts, pull, breathe, kick, glide. Pull, breathe, kick, glide. And we'll do a couple drills in the workout, which I'll talk about in a second to facilitate that stroke timing. Now, in terms of arms, and we'll just look at it from the side for a second, as I mentioned, all you're really doing is you're sculling out at the catch, which continues to the mid pull. And then the mid pull, we're really just doing our in skull. So this is really where the power comes on. So the first little skull out here, just like freestyle, as we're pushing out, we're using primarily our deltoids, our shoulder muscles, which aren't that strong, and we don't have a lot of leverage or strength here. However, if we continue that acceleration through the arm pull, let me scrub properly here. So easiest, I'm accelerating. As I'm turning the corner, I'm still accelerating, and it's this squeeze in. This is where we start engaging the big muscles of the pectoralis, the pec muscles, and we can start generating good force here, again, for forward lift, for breathing, and hopefully a little bit of propulsion in there. So that would be the arm mechanics. We'll look at that from the front in a second as well. And then the kick, as we finish our breath, our hands are coming together. And again, we don't want to pause here. A lot of people will pause here. And really we want to just round the corner, shoot forward. And this is where our pause is going to be, just like catch up in freestyle. So as our arms are shooting forward, our legs are setting up. And how we set up the legs is exactly how you see here. So we're bringing our heels to the bum. Now we do get exposure to frontal drag, as you can see with the quads here. So again, efficiency is incredibly key in this, but expect that this will slow you down. That should be the sensation, but it should be hopefully made up for by the actual kick, which at this point here, this is where you're going to rotate those hips outward a little bit. The ankles are going to hopefully splay out a little farther than the knees. This would be that whip. And you are going to accelerate kind of in a circular fashion, flexing the feet. And you're going to see where I'm holding the water in a second from the behind view. But basically, I want to be holding the water almost like monkey feet. We want them to turn inward a little bit, holding the water kind of with the inside of our foot in our arch. And that's where we can really grab the water. Now, people who are stuck in extension, which I harp on over and over again to get actual, a flutter kick or a freestyle kick or a dolphin kick. Now we actually want to go the other way. So for all you foot flexors, you may find that this is your stroke. For all you toe pointers trying to do this with a pointed toe, so see how they flex quite a bit here, toes point outward a little bit. Those of you, again, with a toe point, you are going to grab zero water at this point here when you're actually trying to grab the water. So you can see how flexed I'm getting there. And that's where the rubber meets the road for propulsion. You can also see how downward I'm kicking. This is to keep the hips up. So as I kick down, that drives the hips up, as you can see. And then I glide, and I can just gently let the legs or the feet come up a little higher. If I was a little better breaststroker, I'd want to get them right to the surface of the water. But I'm not. So moving on, just to look at the mechanics a little more. Just going back the other way, no difference. So this would be the setup of the kick. And we can actually even look at arms as well. Why don't we look at arms first? So as we are sweeping out, this would be that out skull, rounding the corner. So we're not going, we're getting out definitely pretty wide here. But we're coming into the shoulder line as we round that corner. So we don't want to go too wide. And again, that power is this in sweep right here, bringing the water in. So make that the focus and then shooting forward. Now looking at the kick, as I said, knees or heels are coming to the bum. This is where the ankles are going to start hopefully splaying out a little farther than the knees. And as you can see, flexing the feet. And here's the most important part. As you can see, kind of cup in the water with the feet there, so I can actually grab it and get some propulsion, again, slightly downward. And then I let them drift up as I glide. So from the front view, first little skull out, break the arms, big power in. So again, this would be your pec fly, where you can use, again, those big chest muscles. Hopefully exposing the least amount of water to the quads as possible, that frontal drag, and then watch these feet rotate out, flex, hold the water. So that's what we're going for. And then, of course, as streamline as we can on the front end. So next one, we'll talk about turns. I'll get a little bit more into, these videos here. So let's look at the workout, look at the drills that are going to hopefully work on some of these elements. So in this workout, we're going to start off as we normally do with a nice easy warm-up. Now, depending on what level you're at, may dictate different distances or number of sets. But basically, you're going to start off with a simple swim, kick, pull. Swim can be whatever you want, maybe some breaststroke early. Same with kick and same with pull. Save the paddles for a little bit later. Actually, we don't even use paddles in this workout, but highly recommend don't use paddles in the warm-up. Give your shoulders a little bit of time to warm up first. Then we're going to move into a set of 50s of freestyle with breathing focus. So on some sort of pace time, that gives you a good 10-15 seconds rest. And you are just going to change the breathing rhythms as you go. So swim a 50 where you're breathing every 3 strokes. So it's going to practice a little bilateral breathing as well. Then 5 strokes and then 7 strokes. This may help set up some of the breathing timing that we're going to work on in the breaststroke as well. So we'll get the lungs going a little bit more. Then we're into the main set where we're going to start breaking down some of our breaststroke technique here. So we're going to start with the arms. You're going to move through a number of cycles, might be 4, might be a little less, and you are going to do a little bit of sculling in the catch. And again, you can just use a little bit of flutter kick assist to help. I recommend using no fins so you can feel the water and actually hopefully setting up well enough that you can pull yourself forward with your sculling as well. So you're being productive with the arms. Then we'll bring it a little lower, which is our mid pull. And you've already seen the breaststroke arms are really just a scull from the catch to the mid pull. So we're going to take care of that. And then you're going to put those two together and just practice the breaststroke arms where you're sculling out, sculling in. And then the main difference is as you are bringing your hands underneath your chin, or I always tell the kids you're feeding yourself. Water, I guess, hydrating yourself. Want to make sure that we don't pause here. We want to continue the momentum all the way through around to our glide. So we'll play with that a little bit. And again, you can use a little flutter kick to assist with that. Then we're going to play with the timing a little bit. We're going to do a set of 50s here where we're doing breaststroke arms, but I'd like you to try to use more dolphin kick. This is where you could throw on some fins to help you fire that dolphin kick. And as you saw when I was doing my whip kick a little bit more downward, that shot the hips upward a bit and it created this little bit of a dolphin motion. So we're just going to simulate that a little bit. The hardest part is only dolphin kicking once. So only dolphin kicking when you're shooting to glide, which you're going to want a dolphin kick here as well. So dolphin kick, dolphin kick, dolphin kick, dolphin kick. Technically, that would be practicing butterfly timing, which isn't a bad thing, but we want to limit it to that one kick, that one breaststroke kick per cycle, and hopefully we can find that. And that will hopefully keep the hips driving up as we start incorporating the breaststroke kick, which will be the next thing that we do. So 50s with the breaststroke kick, trying to keep that little bit of a dolphin kick motion in there, but really if you're just trying to figure out how to flex the feet and grab the water and actually get something productive out of your kick, then that would be a great starting point as well. So we'll do that isolated with the kickboard. If you don't want to kick with the board, you could just go no board. If you have a snorkel, that would help you out quite a bit as well. Just take the breathing out of it. And then we'll put it all together and just let you practice some 50s of breaststroke. Last little bit, we're going to play with timing a little bit, timing of the stroke, hopefully solidify that a little better, as well as allow you to practice different breathing timings as well. So we're going to be doing this drill here where you're doing 2 kicks to 1 arm pull. So 1 arm pull, take your breath, and then under the water, you're going to hold streamline, kick, kick. So 2 kicks under the water, tight streamline. It's going to work on the timing to keep you down so that you're gliding here. Work on your line, your streamline, and again, the breath control. So nice slow exhale as you're doing those 2 kicks to 1 arm pull. And then we are just going to finish off with a few more 50s. We'll just alternate doing some breaststroke and freestyle. What I want you to pay attention to when you flip over to freestyle is exactly those elements that hopefully might come over from breaststroke. So the hold of the water, the feel of the water, the line of the body, the breath control as you change timing. So really tune into those fine elements. And again, we'll just go back and forth before we cool down with another little choice swim kick. And I'll see you in the next workout.